You're going to learn how to make some amazing and delicious pulled pork. This is my secret ingredient for a super tender roast. Amazing! Let's give it a try. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Joanette, your longevity expert. And today you are going to want to watch all the way to the end because in today's video, not only are you going to learn how to make some amazing and delicious pulled pork, but I'm going to share with you a little story about one of my first adventures into becoming a carnivore after being a lifelong vegetarian. I was in my 30s before I attempted to grill and serve what I grilled to a group of friends. Let's just say I learned a few lessons about grilling. Let's get cooking. To get started for this delicious pulled pork recipe, we are going to start with, this is actually a 2-pound pork loin. Traditionally, you would use a pork butt or a pork shoulder, and it's quite a bit bigger. If you're cooking for a crowd, get that pork butt or that pork shoulder. This recipe is easily adapted to that as well. And this recipe serves about 4 people, so plan accordingly. To get started, I'm adding a little olive oil to the pork roast or to the pork loin that I have patted dry. And it will help my seasonings stick to the roast. To that, I am adding my Mediterranean mix, seasoning mix. It's my longevity mix. And when you go to my website, growwithdrjoanette.com, just search on Mediterranean seasoning mix. And you'll find this delicious, versatile seasoning mix. I use it on roasted vegetables, barbecued grilled meat. It's not a barbecue rub, but it makes a great rub for fish, for pork, for chicken, for it's all kinds of different things. And it's got a lot of great seasonings in it that are important for healthy longevity, herbs, spices, and things like that. Once you have your roast all nicely coated with your longevity Mediterranean seasoning mix, go ahead and cover it up, and we are going to set it aside and let it just kind of marinate for a couple of hours before we put it in the oven. Once it's marinated a couple of hours, you're going to take it out, pop it in the oven at 325 degrees, and cook it for 3 hours. So our pork loin has now been marinating a couple of hours, and it's time to add my secret ingredient, which makes a super tender. Doesn't matter what your cut of meat is or how much fat is in it. This is my secret ingredient for a super tender roast. That is a cup of strong coffee. And once you get that coffee added, cover it tightly with a piece of aluminum foil and pop it in the oven at 325 degrees for 3 hours or until it just kind of falls apart. If you want to do it in a slow cooker or even the Instant Pot, it can be cooked both of those ways as well. When you go to the blog on growwithdrjoanette.com, pulled pork recipe, I have posted there for you the method for using your Instant Pot or your slow cooker in addition to the oven for making this delicious pulled pork for all of your grilling and barbecue parties. Our pork loin has been roasting in the oven or cooking in the oven, actually slow cooking in the oven at 325 degrees now for about 3 hours. And I have been smelling that delicious, roasted, cooked, slow pork smell for about the last 2 hours. I can't wait to get a taste of this delicious roast. You will notice there's some liquid in the bottom. You want to save that liquid. And I'm going to go ahead and pour it off here into a container, leaving a little bit of it in the bottom. We'll probably add most of that liquid back into the roast. And now it's time to pull the pork, hence pulled pork. To pull your pork, you want a couple of big forks. If you don't have big forks, that's fine. You can use smaller forks and you just start pulling on it and shredding it. I guess you call it shredded pork too. While I'm shredding the pork, I promised a little story about my beginnings of a carnivore lifestyle and how it started out as a huge disaster, or at least I thought it was a huge disaster. Now I can kind of laugh about it, but on that day, it was a huge disaster. I was mortified. Here's what happened. I decided after 33 plus decades of a vegetarian lifestyle, it was time to incorporate some meat into my diet because I wanted to get more protein in my diet. I felt like I wasn't getting enough protein. So I decided to celebrate my decision by throwing a party for some of my closest friends and inviting them to a barbecue, a steak barbecue. What better way to, I'd heard steak was delicious and everybody loves steak. So I invited my friends, set a date, and went to the meat market. I told the butcher, I want your best steak. I want 8 of your best steaks. He was like, no problem. He brought them out. He showed them to me. They looked amazing. He wrapped them up. I took them to the cashier and I nearly fainted. I had a food budget and those steaks cost more than my whole weekly food budget for my family of 4. I was like, whoa, they're gonna be delicious, right? And what better way to celebrate than by going all out and purchasing some amazing steaks? So I took the steaks home, I did some research, I found the perfect rub, the perfect seasoning, and all my friends showed up. They were having a great time, hanging out, waiting for me to grill their steaks. They were seasoned, I'd marinated them, seasoned them. Everything was ready to go. I fired up that grill and I cooked those steaks. And I cooked the steaks some more because after all, as a vegetarian, I had heard all the evils or all the bad things that could happen to you if you ate undercooked meat. And the last thing I wanted to do was to make my friends sick with that undercooked steak. So I flipped it and I reflipped it and I flipped it a few more times and I pressed down on it with my spatula. And finally, I decided it was done to perfection. No more pink. It was nicely charred all around the edges. I put it on a lovely plate. I said, dinner's ready, let's eat. Everybody was excited. They sat up to the table and I was so proud. I had barbecued these amazing steaks. Then I got up to go to the kitchen. And on my way back, I heard a couple of my good friends talking. Actually, one of them was my best friend, and the other one was a guest that she had invited. And the guest was leaning into her, kind of whispering, does your steak, is it tough as a flip-flop? She kind of smiled, chuckled. She said, yeah, shoe leather. He said, I was mortified. All of that hard work, all of that perfection, grilling or cooking those steaks had turned them into inedible shoe leather. Thank goodness there were lots of sides and lots of salads and a fabulous dessert. And I learned a really good lesson that day. And that was, it's important to be conscious, to be conscientious in life and in cooking, but it's also important to not overdo it because sometimes the results may be not so great. Our pork here is nicely shredded and it's time to add some barbecue sauce to it. I've got a couple of pieces that are bigger. Now, a little caveat here. If you are using a pork butt or a pork shoulder, you will probably have big pieces of fat that will shred out of it. Just discard that fat. The fat isn't very tasty, and just get rid of it, and so that you just have that nice, tender, delicious shredded pork to add your barbecue sauce to. I go ahead and add some sugar-free. I use sugar-free barbecue sauce. And when you go to my website, click on barbecue sauce, and you will be able to find a recipe there for no sugar added, sugar-free barbecue sauce that you can use for all of your summer grilling, all of your summer barbecues. And I keep mine in this memory jar, I call it. This is a jar from my grandma. She actually used to put pickles in it and can pickles in it. Now it's my barbecue sauce jar, but I still love it. And be generous with the barbecue sauce. I don't know, I guess you could probably get too much. And when you make your own barbecue sauce, you can make it just like you like it. If you like it spicy, you can make it spicy. If you like it mild, you can make it mild. If you want it a little sweeter, add a little more extra non-sugar sweetener like allulose or erythritol or monk fruit or something like that. And just customize it for exactly the way you like your barbecue sauce. I'm gonna add a little liquid back into it. I don't like my meat. Unlike that first steak that I had or made, I don't like my meat shoe leathery or dry. So we're adding some of the juice that the barbecue or that the pork loin cooked in back into it to get it nice and moist and juicy. Here's the other really great thing about this is if you are throwing a summer barbecue and you got a grill and it's loaded with all kinds of things like dogs and brats and I don't know, steak and chicken, whatever. You don't have room on your grill for anything else, but you want another dish. This is perfect. You make it ahead, it's nice and moist, and when you start grilling, you just pop it in the oven at about 350 degrees, heat it up good, bring it out with some nice homemade rolls or coleslaw, baked beans as a side, and serve it. Now I'm gonna even add just a little more barbecue sauce here to it. And a little more of the liquid. Actually, I just finished up all the liquid. Perfect. I usually do, because what I find is that as your pulled pork sits, it tends to absorb, the meat tends to absorb some of that liquid even more, and it just ends up being this nice, moist, super delicious, juicy pulled pork. I think we are ready to give it a try. Looks amazing. If you found this information informative so far, thank you for clicking the like button, subscribing, and signing up for notifications. Also, if you enjoyed that story, don't keep it to yourself. Yeah, it was kind of embarrassing for me, but so many people have gotten a smile from that story. So share it with somebody. You have my permission. And let's have some of this amazing. You ever noticed I use amazing, wonderful, fabulous? I'm an expletive person. Good expletives, not bad ones. Like, I don't like great. I like awesome. I don't like okay. I like amazing. Let's give it a try and see if it is amazing. Yep, amazing. Thank you so much for watching, for joining me today, for cooking along. Leave me a comment in the comments below. I read them all. Tell me when you make this recipe. Tell me how you made it yours, how you customized it to make it amazing for you. And we'll see you next time on the Dr. Joanette channel. Here's to an amazing week. Thank you for watching.